Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. So we are seeing the lesson of Unit 2, Emergence of New Kingdom in North India. Before that, I hope you all are fine and just reading and following me, I think so. Okay, so we are seeing the History Lesson 2, Emergence of New Kingdoms in North India. Okay, so in the North India, we had seen that particularly about the Rajputana kingdom, is it no? Okay, who all are calling the Rajputana? The Pratiharas. Who is it? The Pratiharas, Palas, Rashtrakutas, every holding members, those who are handling the North Indian kingdoms, they are collectively called as the Rajputana, is it no? Okay, so we had seen about the origin of Rajputs. So the three principal houses of the Rajputs are Surya Vamshi, they are the rays of the sun. Chandra Vamsi, they are the rays of the moon. Agnikula, they are the rays of the fire god. So there are only three principal houses. So from the three principal houses, how many royal Rajput clans are there? 36. Okay, totally 36. So among them we are going to see in this lesson about the four clans. Who are they means? The Pratiharas, the Chauhans, the Chalukyas, the Paramaras of powers. Okay ma. So the Chalukya is otherwise known as the family from the Solankis. Okay. So first we are going to see about the Pratiharas. So these Pratiharas is otherwise known as Gurjara Pratiharas. Okay, Gurjara Pratiharas. So who led the foundation of Gurjara dynasty? Harichandra. Okay. So Nagabhatta I was the first prominent ruler of this Pratihara dynasty. And who is the last ruler? Mihira Bhoja. Okay. So how did Pratihara dynasty come to the end? So the Pratihara dynasty come to the end through the tripartite struggle. So what is meant by tripartite struggle? There was a prolonged tripartite struggle between the Gurjara Pratiharas of Malwa, the Rashtrakutas of Deccan and the Palas of Bengal. So from the three dynasty, they wanted to establish their supremacy over the fertile region of Kannauj. So in this process, all the three powers were weakened. Okay. So next one, Pala dynasty. Who was the founder of Pala dynasty? Gopala. Gopala was founded the Pala dynasty. So after the period of Gopala, his son Dharmapala ruled over the kingdom. Okay. So he built over the Vikramasilla University or monastery. Okay. After that, 5 more kings has ruled over the kingdom. They didn't rule over the kingdom in a very good manner. Okay. After that, Devapala has ruled over the dynasty. Okay, Ram. So after that, the kingdom become very weak and it's going to destroy. In that condition, the Pala dynasty is there. So the last king of the Pala dynasty, that is this Mahibala I. Okay, Mahibala I is the last ruler of this Pala dynasty. He took over the dynasty and he restored the dynasty. So again, so the Mahibala I was the founder of the new Pala dynasty. So he was the most powerful ruler of the Pala dynasty. But what happened? From the Tamil Nadu, Rajendra Chola, they give the impressive campaign attack. Okay, continuous attack to the Mahibala kingdom. So unfortunately, Mahibala I, he cannot able to expand his kingdom. So his main thing was he need to save his own people. So moreover, after the death of the Mahibala I, the Pala dynasty come to the end. Okay. So after that, we had seen about the Chauhan dynasty. Is it no? So the capital of Chauhan dynasty was Sagambari. Okay, the capital is at Sagambari. And who founded this Chauhan dynasty? Simharaji. Simharaji founded the Chauhan's dynasty. So who was the founder of Ajmer? City of Ajmer. The same Simharaji is the founder of city of Ajmer. So this is a very small kingdom. Only a few kings has ruled over this kingdom. So these Chauhan people is nothing but they are the feudatories of Pratiharas. Okay. So they are nothing but they are the feudatories of Pratikaras. So when the Pratikara dynasty come to the end, the people themselves, they took over the attack with the new kingdoms, those who fought against them, and moreover they restored that and they started a new name as Chauhan dynasty. Okay, see here, in this Chauhan dynasty, the last king was Prithviraj Chauhan. Okay, so Prithviraj Chauhan is a very bold and he is a very fabulous king. But in the battle of Terain, we will see later, in the battle of Terain, he was defeated and killed by the Muhammad of Ghori. Okay, so this, the Chauhan dynasty come to the end. So after that, we are going to see the contribution of Rajputs to art and architecture. Already we had seen in the previous class. Is it no? Whether you had read that class? Read it? Okay. So first, while we are taking the architecture art, moreover, they are following, they are the centers of cultures. Okay, they are the centers of culture. The centers of culture means, moreover, literature, music, dance, paintings, fine arts and sculptures. Moreover, they flourished everything in that culture. Okay, ma. So the particular style of Rajput painting was mainly focusing in the religious themes only. Okay, so moreover, it emerged in the Rajput courts itself. So their style of painting means it's a Rajasthani painting only. Okay, they followed the Rajasthani painting. Okay, so Rajasthani painting now also we can see over in Jodhpur, Mewar, Jaisalmer, all in Rajasthan areas. Okay, and moreover that they had introduced the Raksha Bandhan festivals. Okay, Raksha Bandhan festival. So this I clearly explained in the previous class. Is it no? Okay, so after that we are going to see about the architecture. So that mainly of Khajuraho, the Sun Temple in Konark, or the Dilwara Temple in Mount Abu, Kandariya Temple in Madhya Pradesh mainly focus the architecture of the Rajput dynasty. Okay, moreover, this was built having won the admiration of art critics. Okay, Sun Temple in Konark itself and Dilwara Jain Temple. Okay, ma. So they are the illustrious examples for their architecture. That means it's very elegant. Okay. Mostly these temples are dedicated to Jain Tirthankaras, Jainism, and the Hindu deities like the Lord Shiva and Vishnu only. Okay. So after that we are going to see the contribution of Palas to culture. Palas to culture. So they are they were very adherents to the Mahayana school of Buddhism. Okay, they were genuine patrons of Buddhist temples and the famous University of Nalanda and the Vikramasvilla, and mostly they used the bronze sculptures only, and they also used the palm leaf painting of Palas. Palm leaf painting of Palas, that means Eastern Indian art. Under the Pala patronage, a distinctive school of art also arose. That's called the Pala art of Eastern India art. Okay. Sorry, I had mentioned the act here. That's art. Okay, art. Okay. So the Pala bronze sculpture from this area played an important part in the spread of Indian culture to the Southeast Asian people. Mostly the Persian people, they followed this. Okay. So after that, advent of Islam. See here, Islam is a religious faith originated at Mecca in Arabia. Okay, it's a religious faith originated in Mecca in Arabia. So here the founder of Islam was Prophet Muhammad. Okay, the founder of Islam was Prophet Muhammad. The followers of Islam are called as the Muslims. Okay, the followers of Islam are called as the Muslim. So moreover, an Islamic state, especially the one ruled by a single religious and political leader. Okay, he was known as the Caliphate. Caliphate means the representative of Prophet Muhammad. Okay, so an Islamic state, especially the one ruled by a single religious and political leader, was known as the caliphate. That means caliphate means caliph means representative of Prophet Muhammad. Okay, so two early caliphates were Umayyad and Abbasids. So what is their main aim means they need to expand their rule separately by their conquest and by preaching the principles of Islam. Okay, so in the medieval time, in the Rajputana kingdom only, their main aim is they need to come over to the India through Sindh and they need to preach over the Islam and they need to spread over the Islam all over the world. Okay, while they are coming to the India, mostly the Muhammad of Ghazni, first Muhammad of Ghazni is a Persian ruler. He came to our India and he mainly focused that he need to preach the Islam. He need to spread over the Islam through all over the okay. So see here, advent of Islam. We need to see that the founder of Islam was Prophet Muhammad. Okay, so in that caliphate is the representative of Prophet Muhammad to rule over this kingdom, and two early caliphates were Umayyad, Abbasids. Umayyad and Abbasids. Okay, see. Okay, see, I need to say one thing. So in the 8th century in India, the Arab presence appeared in the form of Muslim army. Okay, they need to conquer the Sindh. Okay, so now Sindh is in the border of Pakistan and India. Okay, Sindh. But for their further expansion, it was made impossible by the king of the Gangetic Plains and the Deccan. So, our Indian Gangetic Plain kings and Deccan kings, they fight with them. They didn't allow them to enter inside our country. Okay. So, by the end of 9th century, with the decline of Abbasid Caliphate, the Arab garrisons in India and elsewhere threw off the Caliph control and began to rule independently. Okay, so they came to the border of Sindh and they ruled over independently in that area. Okay, so the Turkish governor Alptegin, okay, he was one among them and whose capital was Ghazni. So Ghazni means now we are saying it as Afghanistan. Okay, ma. Okay, so the Turkish governor Alptegin, he was one among them whose capital was Ghazni. Okay, his successor and son-in-law Sabukijin, he wanted to conquer the India from the northwest. Okay, but only his son Muhammad, he succeeded his endeavor. Okay, so they touched the border of our India and they came back through the Sindh, and moreover they are ruling the border of Sindh. Now we understand that? Okay, so who is it? Muhammad of Ghazni, he is a Turkish governor. Alptegin, he was one among the ruler of the Turkish. That means in the Afghanistan. So, Muhammad of Ghazni, he made attack for 17 times to India. Okay, he make an attack of 17 times to India. So that I mentioned there 17 raids to India. Okay, so in that 17th time only he was leader and he came to our India. At that time here North India was divided into number of small kingdoms. Okay, so one of them was Shahi kingdom. He is extending the rule from Punjab to Kabul. Okay, so other small kingdoms, Kanauj, Gujarat, Kashmir, Nepal, Malwa, Bundelkhand. So everyone, the small king, everyone was defeated by the Muhammad of Ghazni. Okay, so after his defeat, what happened? Jayapala, our Indian king, he was defeated and he accepted his disgrace. Okay, his grace. But his successor Anandapala, he fought against the Muhammad of Ghazni, but he was defeated in the battle. Okay, so as a result of the victory, Muhammad of Ghazni extended his rule and he came to the Punjab. Okay, ma. So the subsequent raids of Muhammad of Ghazni for 17 times he come to the India. So what is his main aim means? He need to plunder the rich temples and the cities of North India. That is his main aim. Okay, so in 1011 he raided Nagarkot in Punjab hills and Taneshwar near the Delhi. So just imagine that first he attacked our Sindh. So slowly by slowly he touched the border of our India. So not only in the first time or second times, he made an attack of 17 times. Okay, he made an attack of 17 times. So after that, slowly by slowly, he defeated Kannauj, Gujarat, Kashmir, Nepal, Malwa, mostly in the West Indian everything. Okay, Bundelkhand everything. And after that, slowly he came to the Punjab. Okay, Punjab and Delhi. So his aim is he need to defeat the Indian king, he need to plunder the rich temples and cities of North India, and moreover he raided the Nagarkot in Punjab hill, Bhubaneswar near the Delhi. Okay, so in 1018 Muhammad plundered the total holy city of Mathura. Okay, he also attacked Kannauj. For the Kannauj only, these local kings was making a struggle with each one. Is it no? Is it no? So okay, he also attacked the Kannauj. So the ruler of Kannauj, Rajabala, he abandoned Kannauj and later he died. Okay, so next Muhammad of Ghazni's important raid took place in Gujarat. Okay, so he marched from Multan, Rajputana and defeated the Solanki king. Who is the Solanki king? Chalukyas, is it no? Is it no? What is the other name of Solankis? Chalukyas is otherwise called as the Solankis. So he also defeated the Solanki king Bhimadeva and plundered all the wealth of Anhilwad city. Okay, so Muhammad is said to have sacked the famous temple of Somanath temple. Somanath temple is a very famous temple. Okay, it's a very famous temple. So he also seized every wealth of the Somanath temple. He break the idol. Then he returned through the Sindh desert in his own place. Okay, so that was his last campaign in India. So after that, Muhammad of Ghazni died in 1030 AD. So the Ghazni Empire Auroli roughly included the Persia, Transoxiana, Afghanistan and the Punjab in our India also. Okay. So up to that we had seen in this lesson. Okay. So moreover, this will very interesting. The battle of terrain we can see in the next class. Okay, ma. Just read out the lesson and underline the main one word. Okay, underline the main one word. After that, we need to see the advent of Islam. We had finished, is it no? Okay. Just I will give you the short notes for the short question. Just study that the tripartite struggle question and Rajput clan question. Okay. I hope you all are fine. Just be safe. So we can see in the next class. Okay. Just study the short questions and come. Okay, ma. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. We can see in the next class. Thank you.